Peace and blessings and namaste to all light workers, warriors, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and we are fastly approaching the 8-8 portal. Okay, I'm not going to do anything, as far as a collective with the 8-8 portal, because of some things that I am directed to do, on my own, as far as dealing with, the ascended masters and some of the elves and, some of our spirit guides. So typically when there's portals that come up, like lunar portals, eclipse, things of that nature, we already know what takes place during those times. A lot of integration, sometimes it's soul swapping, sometimes it's incorporating the higher self into the consciousness, a lot of cleansing, purging, it's kind of like the Jacob's ladder type of effect. So, we'll have more energies coming into the earth and some energies leaving the earth, at that time. So we have to get ourselves into the most perfect alignment during this time, so that we can capitalize on these energies when they come through. I am going to give you some things that I think you need to focus on, before this date comes up, before this portal comes up, just to help you along on your journey, all right? Your journey to success. The one thing that I really want to hit on during this time, okay, is identifying toxic patterns in your own life and how to identify what it really means to escape the matrix. Okay, you're going to have, a lot of people talking about the matrix, and in their mind, when it comes down to talking about the matrix or what the matrix is, it's a system, that was designed to govern the earth, it's participating in what people would consider, slavery. It might be a place that you live. It might be, working in a particular field or something like that. And I'm trying to tell you that the matrix is, how to escape the matrix is has everything to do with your mental state. Okay? Your mental state. Now remember, there was ancient writings that said we live in the world, but not of it. We're not of it, okay? Some toxic behaviors, they follow us through generation and generation, and we don't see them as toxic behaviors, okay? We probably just see them as everyday life. But when you're talking about leaving or escaping the matrix, you're talking about mentally escaping a realm of bondage, okay? And learning to live above that bondage, learning to live above society, learning to live above what others think about you, learning to live above the norm, okay? This is when we are freeing our mind. This is what it means to be sovereign, okay, unto the Creator. We're going to achieve our sovereignty. So some of the things that you may have, that has been passed down to you, and you may be thinking that, this is just regular normal things, okay? Having a unhealthy attachment to materialism, having an unhealthy attachment to wealth, okay? And the reason why I am saying an unhealthy attachment to it is because, yes, we are here. We can have a very abundant life. But when we have an unhealthy attachment to it, sometimes it causes a muddled thinking in an effort to keep this wealth or to obtain this wealth, okay? Remember the saying, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world for the price of their soul? So in other words, what are we willing to give up? Is it morals? Is it ethics? Okay. Is it status? To achieve some type of status. All right. Some type of hierarchy. All right. So we want to get past some of this thinking that's been passed down to us, that our lives here, as short as it may be, okay, now I'm not saying short in a span that we're not eternal, okay, that we won't keep evolving, that we won't go to higher levels of consciousness. I'm saying that when it comes down to navigating this earth realm, whichever timeline that you are on, in order to escape the matrix, you have to learn how to master the realm of existence that you are in, so that you can move up to those ranks when it comes down to achieving wealth in a high vibration, and that type of wealth will never be taken from you. Okay? It will never be taken from you. We free our minds when we learn how to navigate from one dimension to the next. We escape the matrix because now we have the ability to think outside of it and start creating our own realities. All right. And some of your realities that you are creating may include jobs, positionings, entrepreneurship, abundance, love, happiness, peace. But if you're finding yourself not having the ability to manifest these things in your life, it's probably a lesson that you have failed to learn. All right. Now, some of us are here and we're identifying with the twin flame journey. I have a completely different thought process when it comes down to that. All right. But this is not about how I feel about it. It's about how I am now identifying with you to help you guys heal. Some of the things that you might want to deal with when we get to this 8-8 portal is learning how to release and let things go. I'm going to give you an example. Some of the emails that I'm receiving from talking to other divine feminines, they're having a hard time with this one thing here. And this is just not applicable to divine feminines. It can also work with you divine masculines too. You have spent so much time, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't know how long, all right, dealing with a counterpart that you were feeling like you were sent here to help heal. All right. And you want to heal them and you're operating in that unconditional love. Right. And it just doesn't work out for you for whatever reason. You're splitting up or divorcing or something like that. But you're sitting back and you're watching that same person that you have invested in for a very long time is now with another partner. And guess what? That other partner is getting the best version of them that you did not. You invested all of your time, all of your efforts, all of your energy to help heal your counterpart just to see them be the best version of themselves with someone else. Someone else reaping the benefits of all of the seeds that you have sown. You're holding a bitter place in your heart because of that. I am telling you not to. Okay, when it comes down to divine masculines, when it comes down to divine feminines, this is one thing that you need to understand. There is a name that's been floating around here, and they call it karmic relationships. Okay, and it has a very, very negative stereotype that's kind of associated with it. So when you hear the term karmic, you automatically think, okay, well, this person is sent by the devil, or this person is a distraction. Not necessarily. Okay, there are some beings that are sent to have what we considered starter relationships, and these relationships are what was designed to help perfect that divine counterpart that you have been working on to get to their higher state of consciousness, right? But it wasn't designed to last forever. So what you're seeing is the seeds that you have planted in that person be manifested with somebody else. Now, why? That does not seem fair at all, right? That doesn't seem fair. You've done all of the work. You've done everything that you could. And now this person is this brilliant thing and you don't even get to see that. All you have in your memory bank is toxicity. It is important for you to know that just because you are on a healing journey with your divine masculine, or if you're a divine masculine on a healing journey or healing mission to help a divine feminine, you're not going to be able to reach them if they're not your divine masculine or your divine feminine. Okay? What I'm saying to you divine feminines is, while you are investing a lot of time in trying to heal a divine masculine, he's only going to be able to resonate and receive that type of healing and love and nurturing from his counterpart, which may not be you. And I know that that's hard to hear. There is a certain language that divine counterparts can speak to one another and that can reach one another that you may not be able to do. And in that vein, how are you going to think? How are you going to think that? Okay? Or were you trying to heal this masculine or this feminine for the sake of you? Or were you trying to heal this masculine or this feminine for the sake of them needing to be healed? So if you're doing it in the highest vibration, you just know that they needed to be healed and they walk away from you, but they are healed and they're healed with someone else, then it's okay to let it go. Don't beat yourself up over it. You've done nothing wrong. You've done your job. So now you're going to manifest a relationship that's on the same vibration as you, and they're going to manifest their relationship. They're going to gravitate to their soul, their whatever is matching their vibration or their frequency. You don't have to fight for connections. All right. So approaching this 8-8 portal, learn to release any anger, any bitterness, any resentment. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of for whatever reason, nothing happens by accident. Everything serves a purpose. All right. Even if it comes down to deep reflection. So this is another form of matrix thinking. I'm telling you, and I'm trying to teach you to live above the matrix. And it's not a place. It's not an occupation. Okay? It's not politics. It's not any of that. It's how you think. How you think is going to manifest and open up doors for you to continually create your own matrix, your own reality. Live above that which is set in stone. Live above that which everybody is telling you, talking to you about. Okay? Some of us, divine feminines, have found ourselves having to operate in a lot of our masculine principles to get things done. Okay? And here's something else that I want you to shake during this portal too. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this to you guys. That is not going to go way out there, okay? The whole cougar type of movement that swept the earth during a certain dispensation of time. There was a base matrix type of understanding of it, and then there was a higher vantage point type of understanding of this. I have mentioned to a lot of you before that the divine feminine energy had to come in and tip the scales. Okay? Now, I want you to consider what the past eons have represented to you. All right? I don't like to use the term patriarchy because a lot of feminine inspiration was around during that time as well, even though it was carefully hidden. Okay, so I want to say that when it came down to, status, when it came down to families, when it came down to religion and all types of beliefs, even politics, business, and this, that, and the third, let's just say that it was tipped in the favor of the masculine principle for some time. Now, when the divine feminine came through and that energy came through, we had to untip it, okay? So that caused another imbalance. And all you have to do is look around and you'll be able to see that many, many, many of feminines are standing in their power. They're in seats of position. They're in seats of power. They're in seats of authority. So we had to tip it in the opposite direction, which still caused an imbalance. So we went from one imbalance to the next imbalance, now trying to get back to the balance. Now, when you are seeing older women that are dealing with younger men, if they are of the highest vibration, it has nothing to do with sex. Okay? It has nothing to do with passion. It has nothing to do with trying to get their groove back. You understand? That's not what it's about. What it was about was a strategic purging of an old frame of thought from our male counterparts, having to be purged out while the new masculines take position and rise. So even though the divine feminine already had a certain train of thought, a certain vein of thought that they were going with, which allows them to adjust a little bit easier. Okay, we can adjust. We can fold. We operate intuitively. It wasn't as easy for our divine counterparts, our masculines, to adapt to this new way of life. You're talking about eons, generations and generations and generations of belief systems that is passed down through the DNA. Some masculines did not know their place anymore when they were partnered with feminines that were just as strong, just as powerful, just as smart. Okay? So it became a challenge to the old vanguard. The new vanguard, okay, your masculines who are incarnating after you, okay, some of them were here before you, but some of them are incarnating after you. They are here to purge that old out and to bring in that newness of spirit so that we can go and achieve this balance. So it's going to be very, very important for you during this time when this portal comes to change the way that you think. Okay? And some of the ways that you think did serve its purpose for a time in a season. I'm never going to say to you that anything that was passed down from to us from our ancestors was ever wrong, was all wrong. Okay? What I'm saying is everything that was passed down served its purpose for a specific season. And as we continue to evolve, we change things, we mold things, we build upon foundations, we build upon a cornerstone. Okay? We are always told to honor our mothers and our fathers. We are always told to honor our ancestors, honor our elders, okay? The way that they thought, the life that they lived, okay, the position that they were put in, help mold their reality and their perspective of how life was during that time. We all have our unique connection with Source. That means how Source deals with me may not be the same how Source deals with you. Okay? And since we all have our unique understanding, it's important that you don't take on other people's understanding of things that might not be applicable to you and your generation. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, when they were talking about Noah, they said he is perfect in his generation. Okay? That's the key point that a lot of people are missing. How to be perfect in your generation. All right? Not the generations of the past. And what exactly did it mean to be perfect? Are we talking about genetically pure? Are we talking about achieving a certain level of understanding that makes us perfect? These are things that you have to think about. Now, I want to consider, we're going to go back to the matrix, okay? Because I really want y'all to purge doing this portal. I really do. I really want y'all to purge. And I'll be doing my part for us as well, all right? Toxicity. Toxic behaviors. A lot of us have adopted it, but don't even realize that it is toxic. We think that it's just life. But when you see the fruit of what it is that is bare or born after that, that's when and only then will you have the ability to identify that it's toxic. For instance, I can tell you that to be the cleanest, okay, is to really honor your sexual energy. All right? Not to go around sleeping around, you know, just giving yourself away, just doing any nilly-willy, and not to identify love with lust. Love and lust, two different. One is a perversion of the other. Okay? One is a perversion of the other. And if you're not careful, you will get them mixed up. Really, really easy. Now, when we're talking about lust, we're not just not talking about sexually. There's a whole bunch of forms of lust, okay? And lust is a catalyst to make you lose righteous thought, to get whatever it is that you think that you are missing. This has been passed down, but say we are talking about sexual lust. Let's just deal with that. What comes along with that? If you tell somebody, hey, it's okay to be celibate. It's okay when you leave a relationship to cleanse your energy before you're jumping into another relationship. It's okay for you to decide that, you know, I want to be monogamous, okay? I want to share my energy with somebody that's going to only share their energy with me so that both of us can become one and not one of us is fragmented and split off with different energy. Because if you are fragmented in your soul based off of your sexual energy, how can you give 100% to any one person? No, you're going to have to divide yourself. Now, what ends up coming along with that? STDs. All right? Now, some say sexually transmitted disease. Others say sexually transmitted demons. All right? Pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say to you very, very carefully. It's going to make a difference in your life. If you consider that our ancestors knew that the realm of existence is mental, that each of us are emanations from an all mind, Okay? And if that source is the original creation of all creations, the way you train your mind is what's going to help you overcome certain illnesses, certain sicknesses, and how to identify with these things. The mind is the catalyst that can actually transmute and transform your DNA, can help create white blood cells. All right? There was a specific reason why we kept saying, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. All right? Sexually transmitted demons transfers to sexually transmitted dis-ease. And when you think about the term dis-ease, is dis-ease in the mind? Is dis-ease in the body? Is dis-ease in the soul? Is dis-ease in the spirit? And anything that is mental or spiritual or energetic will manifest itself physically. So getting STDs is a way of your mind and your consciousness letting you know you are damaging and polluting your own vessel. You are taking on energies that may be foreign to you, foreign to your body, foreign to your life purpose, foreign to your spirit, into your body, and it's not compatible. Do you understand? And when things are that you are bringing into your body is incompatible with your genetic makeup, with your spiritual walk, okay, with your soul's purpose, with your soul's mission, what that happens, it mutates. And when things start to mutate, they manifest. And when they manifest, boom, you've got sicknesses, you've got illnesses, you've got ailments. Dis-ease starts mental. Purify the body, purify the soul, purify the spirit, purify the dis-ease. Okay? Now there's people that's going to bark at you. I'm telling you this from personal experience. I was talking to a gentleman maybe about 2 weeks ago. I told this gentleman that I was, practicing celibacy. Okay? That I was a celibate individual. And that I had been celibate for about 9 months, 8 or 9 months, right? And this gentleman started mocking it. He was taking it like it was a trend. He was on the phone telling me, oh, these women are always talking about how they know they worth. These women are always saying that they're sapiosexual now. Like, he was mocking this whole situation. Like, I'm a very sexual, expressive person, and when these women are wondering, why they can't find a man, they need to remember that, men are sexual beings. And I tell these women that are talking like this that you're always going to be by yourself by the way that you think. He said, what difference does it make if I sleep with you today versus sleep with you 2 months from now, or you jump into another relationship and you're sexually active with them? And I looked at him, I said, the intention. Okay? Number one, this is nothing to be mocked. If you feel this way, then attract people and deal with people the way that you feel. But there are some people out here that are in this age of purifying themselves. Why? Because they're ready to ascend. They're ready to move on. They've done all of that in the past. It's nothing to get laid. Let's be real. There is nothing to get laid. Okay? We've done all of that in the past. We've learned from that in the past. And now we're trying to get on a mission to purify our consciousness. Why? Because we want to reach the highest level of consciousness. We're ready to ascend. We're ready to move. So he was mocking this thing and saying that women like myself will have a hard time finding a man. Wrong. So when I corrected him and said, well, actually, I never have a hard time getting the commitment. I've spent more time married than I've actually been single. Who are you talking to? And see, when they talk to you in that manner, this is matrix thinking. If I wasn't strong enough to say, you're wrong, and let whatever it was that worked for you, I could have been easily manipulated and was like, you know what? You might be right. No. No. It's not your job. It's not your job to try to accommodate others. It's your job to get others to see and want to evolve like you. We don't downgrade, you upgrade. Okay? So you want to focus on your sexual activity, your sexual health, your mental health. Okay? Another thing, another form of matrix thinking. There are some people who relate love with jealousy, tempers, anger, frustration. The more possessive the person is to you, the more you think that they love you. That's a completely and totally different thing. That's the opposite. Okay? Love is not possessive. Love is not controlling. But if you've been framed to think that, it's probably because you haven't had a real love experience. You don't know what real love is. And when real love does present themselves, you're quick to turn it away because you're used to toxicity. You think it's okay when you're cheating or messing around or flirting with somebody for your girl to go crazy. And females, you think that it's okay, you know, if another man gives you attention for your man to be all in his face and wanting to fight. That's not cute. That could be very dangerous. Do you understand? That's not a stable mind. Love, in its purest form, was never designed to control. It was designed to inspire and uplift. You have to consider, I don't care how pretty or beautiful you think you are, there's always somebody out here that's prettier, more beautiful than you. So if you're basing your existence on what it is that you can attract, and it's based off of physical attraction, and you've got toxicity assigned to that wants to control you because you're beautiful, you know what I mean? But they don't want anybody talking to you. They don't want anybody around you. They want to have you all to themselves. How is that love? If I love you, I should be able to trust you. If I love you, you should be able to trust me, and you should understand that there's loyalty that goes with it. But if you are in a mindset where you don't know how to be loyal, it's very easy for you to accuse others of disloyalty. It's not cute to have people fighting over you. It's not cute to try to make someone jealous. That's not cute. That's not love. That's toxicity, and that's learned behavior. Guess what thinking that is? Matrix. I told you, live above this. Live above this. Okay? Purify yourselves during this time, one way or another. Understand the patterns of your life, how you got there. If you are a person that struggles with anger, rage, take the time during this portal to go back, not just this lifetime, but if you understand that you're multidimensional or you have lived other lifetimes, go back and find out what was the catalyst of it from the beginning. I guarantee you it has crossed over into this lifetime. Let me do it this way. I'm going to explain this way. I'm going to try to explain it this way. We have layers of existence, right? Okay. Low, medium, high, all of this. Multidimensional beings have a string that is attached to every last one of these layers of existence, okay? And say each of these layers of existence manifested in a specific eon, past, present, future. All right? And if time does not exist outside of this realm of existence, then they happen simultaneously, correct? So if you're in this day and age, finding yourself having a very hard time holding your anger, holding your resentment, operating in toxicity, toxic patterns, you don't understand what the catalyst is, and you're starting to beat yourself up for it. Like, you know, I really don't want to be this way. I don't know how to stop being this way. Maybe in a previous eon, you were targeted. Maybe you were killed. Maybe that's all you knew then. And it's manifesting in this timeline. If you go back to my earlier videos, I was talking about how to go back in time mentally to address your inner child, to address your childhood. Okay? You can do this as well with other lifetimes through meditation. The way to have the ability to get these things done is to at least start now. You have to have a pure energy to be able to tap into those realms on that level. Start purifying yourself. Start going back and try to figure out what was the trigger of this behavior that keeps manifesting and following you from eon to eon to eon to eon to eon. And finally address it and release yourself. Get out of the matrix. Twin flame journeys, that's if you decided to do that. There are 3 different ways that you can navigate this realm. You can do it solo with the help of the divine, your ancestors, your spirit teams. You can do it solo. You can do it in pairs. Your twin flames, your soulmates. Y'all both can try to figure out and solve the paradoxes or reconcile the paradoxes, solve the maze and the riddles, get through and get into your sovereign divinity. Or you can do it in teams, like groups, your soul tribe. All of y'all having very specific and unique gifts, putting your minds together collectively and trying to overcome certain patterns. What some can see, somebody else may not be able to see. Okay, so if you formulate a group, you can do that as well. What is important at this time when we go through this portal? You need to know how to reach your highest self. You need to have a clear understanding of what your mission is. A very clear understanding. And if you don't have it, that'll be the time that you can incorporate more or activate more of your higher self, more of that God consciousness. Energy is going to be coming in and energies are going to be leaving. And if for those of you who are already operating in your divinity, you're going to have more activations now. Or those of you who are stuck or stagnant, not feeling like you're evolving or growing, you're just existing in the same energy for the past couple of years, you better figure out what it is that you need to release. Whether it's a thought, a consciousness, an understanding, okay? Something that you have not healed from. Learn to do these things. There was one more thing that I wanted to hit on with you, and then I'm going to just disappear for a little bit. Your mental realm of existence governs dis-ease, governs antiquated beliefs, governs toxic behaviors, governs your perspective and your outlook on life. One man's hell, another man's heaven. Okay? When you are in your own sovereign divinity, the way that you think, the way that you start to manifest, everything that was pushed to you for you to believe, for you to understand, starts to melt away. New ideas, new thoughts start coming in. Things that were not repeated in the past. Things that were not repeated from the ancestors. A newness of spirit comes through. And you affect others around you. It goes past what the norm is. because you become the standard. Do you understand me? You become the standard. And the only person that you need to be competing with is yourself. You are the standard. Okay? It is not for you anymore to dumb yourself down or to try to heal things that weren't meant for you to heal. If humanity is a baby species that is still going through their evolutionary processes, that are still trying to learn how to navigate this realm and escape it, what makes you think that the Creator would allow another person to govern your soul? Your soul does not belong to people. Your soul, your spirit, belongs to you and Source. Yes, there are people that will inspire you. Yes, there are people that are going to be influential for you. But no, you are not supposed to subject yourself to that type of controlling. Learn from one another. Okay? Remember, the 8/8 portal's coming up. I suggest that you go into your meditations like nobody's business. Remember, I told you about the twinkling of an eye, right? I told you about that, okay? No man knows the day, the time, or the hour. I know that when I'm being pushed to talk about it, that's just what I have to do, okay? We're ready to go, all right? Learn how to identify toxic behavior patterns. Understand what dis-ease really comes from and try to heal yourself. I'm not going to say try. Heal yourself. Heal thyself. Address what needs to be addressed. Learn the difference between love and lust. Learn the difference between freedom and control. Learn where these patterns are coming from. Respect it from the time that it was created. Respect your ancestors, your elders, and what foundations they have led. But understand that all of them can't go with you. The tenets can. The core principles can. But you are here to become the standard. Heal thyself. Reflect on thyself. Understand thyself. I am Sophie. I love you all.